The air in the suite at the Ritz hung heavy, like a damp cloth pressed over every breath. Diana sat on the edge of the four-poster bed, her fingers tracing the gold embroidery on the duvet. It was past midnight, and Paris lights flickered through the curtains like distant eyes watching her every move. Doty paced the room, his phone glued to his ear, murmuring in low tones about the photographers swarming the streets below. "We'll slip out the back," he said, not looking at her. "No one will follow." She nodded, but her eyes caught something in the mirror across the room, a shadow that didn't match his. It stretched too long, fingers like smoke curling from the corners where the walls met the ceiling. Diana blinked, and it was gone. Just the fatigue, she told herself. The endless chase. But her skin prickled, and she pulled her silk robe tighter around her shoulders. The room smelled wrong, not of the fresh lilies on the side table, but something metallic, like blood mixed with rain. Doty hung up and crossed to her, kneeling to take her hands. "You look pale, love. What's wrong?" His voice was soft, but his grip was firm, almost desperate. She wanted to tell him about the shadow, the way it had whispered her name in a voice that echoed from inside her skull. But the words stuck. Instead, she smiled faintly. "Just tired. Let's get some sleep before we leave." He kissed her knuckles and stood, heading to the bathroom to splash water on his face. The door clicked shut, and the room seemed to sigh. Diana rose and walked to the window, parting the curtains just enough to peer out. The alley below was empty, save for a single black car idling under a street lamp. Its windows were tinted black, but she swore she saw a face inside. Pale, eyeless, mouth stretched in a silent scream. Her heart slammed against her ribs. She let the curtain fall and backed away, bumping into the vanity table. A glass of champagne tipped over, spilling across the marble top in a slow, red-tinged flood. She hadn't poured it yet. Her reflection stared back from the spilled liquid, but it wasn't her face. The eyes were hollow, cheeks sunken, lips blue and parted as if gasping for air. "You can't run," the reflection mouthed, the words forming bubbles in the wine. Diana recoiled, her heel catching on the rug. She fell hard, the carpet muffling her cry. Doty burst from the bathroom, towel around his neck, eyes wide. "Diana? What happened?" He helped her up, but his hands felt cold now, like they belonged to someone else. She pointed at the vanity, but the spill was clear, just champagne, no red. No face. I thought I saw something," she whispered, her voice trembling. He pulled her close, stroking her hair. "It's the stress. The paps out there, they're animals. But we're leaving soon. Safe." She buried her face in his chest, but the whispers started again, slithering from the walls like insects under wallpaper. Crash. Glass. Metal twisting. Blood on white silk. They weren't words, exactly, but flashes, images burning into her mind. A tunnel. Screeching tires. Her body crumpling like a discarded dress. She jerked away from Doty, gasping. "Do you hear that? The voices." He frowned, listening. The room was silent except for the distant hum of the city. "Hear what?" "Diana, you're scaring me." But his eyes darted to the door, as if he sensed it too, the way the shadows thickened, pooling in the corners like oil. A knock echoed from the hallway, sharp and insistent. Doty swore under his breath and went to answer, cracking the door just enough to see the bellboy with fresh towels. The boy handed them over without a word, but his smile was wrong, too wide, teeth glinting like shards of bone. As Doty closed the door, Diana caught a glimpse of the towels. One unfolded in the boy's hand, stained with dark, wet streaks that looked like handprints. She rushed forward. "Wait, those aren't," but Doty had already tossed them on the chair. The stains faded as she watched, dissolving into the fabric like ink in water. The clock on the mantel ticked louder now, each second a hammer blow. Diana's phone buzzed on the nightstand. A text from an unknown number. "The tunnel waits. Join us." She deleted it, hands shaking, but another came instantly. Screams echo forever. She dropped the phone, and it skittered across the floor, screen cracking like a spiderweb. Doty picked it up,
glancing at the messages before his face drained of color. Who sent this? Before she could answer, the lights flickered. Once, twice, then out. The room plunged into black, the kind that presses in, suffocating. Diana clutched Dodi's arm, her nails digging in. Don't let go. In the dark, the whispers grew into a chorus. Hundreds of voices, overlapping, pleading, raging. They followed you here. They always do. Shapes moved around them, brushing against their legs like cold hands. Something tugged at her ankle, pulling hard enough to make her stumble. Dodi fumbled for the lamp, cursing as it sparked to life. The room was empty again, but the air hummed with rawness. Scratches marred the walls, fresh, deep gouges spelling her name in jagged letters. DNA. Dodi grabbed their coats. We're leaving. Now. Forget the back exit. Straight through the lobby. His voice cracked, fear bleeding through. She nodded, numb, as they hurried to the door. But as her hand touched the knob, it burned, searing cold like frostbite. A final whisper coiled around her ear, intimate as a lover's breath. This is only the beginning. The crash is mercy. She yanked the door open anyway, the hallway light blinding. Paparazzi shouts already rising from below. They fled into the night, the hotel room ceiling behind them like a tomb. But the shadows followed, silent and hungry, waiting for the tunnel's embrace.